everyone, this is Jesus is here. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be doing just a quick follow-up to the video that I posted yesterday regarding SFX clearing waves in Vanquisher 1. Yesterday I also later on did a clear in Vanquisher 1 using Forest and Trans protection, which is quite big because it was the hardest wave in Vanquisher 1, which means that Vanquisher 1 has been verified to be cleared with either dark and trans protection or forest and trans protection, which is quite important because if you are running without the Laciums, then making sure that you have enough signets to survive until the end of the clear is going to be the most crucial part of the operation. So any way that you can save signets is important, and being able to roll for either dark or forest protection on Vanquisher 1 is going to be quite a saving in terms of signets. So what we're going to do first is have a look at the clear itself, and then afterwards I've made an update to the Vanquisher Rerolls sheet, which I'm going to share with you and explain quickly how that all works. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at the clear from yesterday. So this recording was the end of a Vanquisher clear. We just, as you saw, had Transcendence and Forest protection. I'm using a comp with double Rogan, both with splendid Demon Bells of course, and as you can see, the two Rogans are allowing SFX to do some monster damage. She's got impeccable flow there already and getting fed another active, and you see huge damage there, basically destroying the team. Var dies before she can put a healing curse on, and it's basically our entire team versus a Ada and a carry. Ada's now on lockdown as well, and with not much health left, this is going to be over pretty quickly, even before the carry revives. So that's a 6-round victory. So it doesn't look like Vanquisher 1, but believe me, this was Vanquisher 1. You can tell from the damage that SFX has needed to put out in order to kill that. Celestial Islands has made a huge update in terms of how easy it is to clear Vanquisher. This SFX we're working with has more attack than the one that we were using to clear Vanquisher 1 planets yesterday. I think we're going to have a look at the details here. We're going to see the Celestial Island, very neatly built, much neater than my Celestial Island. So that's almost 200,000 attack being transferred to the SFX. The SFX was wearing Antler's Cane. Given the length of the fight, Punisher probably would have been better. As you can see, the star spawns are pretty decent there. You've got basically all your attack boosting star spawns that you could want. So we're going to have a look at the SFX, I believe here. As you can see, that's with Antler's Cane, so the attack's a bit higher, but that's over 1.1 million attack on the SFX. So really explains why that was such an easy kill. So after this, now we're going to have a look at the update to the Vanquisher Reroll sheet. So here is the Vanquisher Reroll sheet, and for those of you who are new to it, just a very quick explanation of how it works. The planets are color-coded by how easy or hard it is for Jara to CC them, because you will be using Jara for all of your Vanquisher push. And what we do is we have a threshold, which is depending on the average CC immunity of the enemies, which we have ripped from the data mine. So if it's below 82% average threshold, then the planet is green. Between 82 and 87.5, it's yellow, and between 87.5 to 100, it's orange, and above 100, it is red. So it's quite interesting because it's automated. You can adjust these CC thresholds. It's generally very good at showing you what the easy planets are. We also have this section here, which allows you to put a maximum amount of enemies of a certain type that you want to do. I suggest you not change carry, But for example, if on Vanquisher 6 we start getting comfortable with doing multiple carriers, we can set the max carriers to 3, and you can see the colours will change and the planets that are accessible will change as well. We can change that to 2 and 1. Horus shows that we're happy to have 1 Horus. You can't have more than 1 Horus in Vanquisher. Ada, we don't want more than 2 Adas on Vanquisher 6. And Sherlock, we would prefer not to face a Sherlock. It doesn't mean that planets that are red are not able to be beaten. They can be. So what especially with the new Celestial Island updates, so what I have added to the sheet, which still requires a lot of filling in, is the verified clears section, which shows you what comps have managed to beat certain enemies on these planets. So the first column is Transcendent only. This means that you are able to beat it with an SFX comp, which only has Transcendent protection. Generally, I would recommend you're using SFX, a Rogan, Ra was a candy cane, a glittery candy cane, and then a Drake and your Queen and your Shadowwind Jara would be the comp recommended for that. You can find that information in the guide. Trans and Forest is basically a SFX comp with double Rogan normally, instead of Rogan and Var. You will then get a much better energy feed with Trans and Forest, as well as much bigger buffs to your SFX. Trans and Dark is going to be a SFX comp. Instead of double Rogan, you're going to have Carry and Ra, both with Demon Bells in the place of that. That's a very, very strong sustain comp and can beat planets much easier than Trans and Forest a lot of the time, but Trans and Forest can be pretty close. Abyss only is if you only have Abyss protection on the planet, and you'll be using a Delacium comp to beat it. In 6-3, that will generally be with a wall deck, although I have managed to use Delacium comps with Itiquas even when they're on lower damage, just because Itiqua does so much damage. I haven't added Trans and Abyss because Trans and Abyss is pretty much easy clear if you can clear with any of these other comps, with some very small exceptions, most notably if you're facing Horus at higher Vanquisher levels. That can be an issue for Trans and Abyss. But this is really if you've got only Abyss protection, and there's a lot of gaps on this list. I'm sure we can fill them in together as more people do clears. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of planets I've already filled in for Vanquisher 6. As Celestial Islands has improved so much, I would imagine that Vanquisher 6 is going to get easier and easier, and people will be attempting double carry planets. All sorts of things will be cleared. Vanquisher 5, again, quite similar. And as we go further up to Vanquisher 4 and Vanquisher 3, not a lot to mention. You see there's always an option for Transcendent only until we get to Vanquisher 2. And Vanquisher 2 is a little bit interesting. There's an option for Transcendent only on all the planets. I will note that the Planet 5, Unimax, Ada, Belvane, Tara, Aspen, Horus, is relatively difficult compared to the others, so may require more attempts, or you may need to have some upgrades to your SFX in order to beat it with Transcendence only. It has been done pre the Celestial Island patch with a strong account, so that should be an accessible kill now, but it is relatively harder than some of the others. The other one to note is that most of the clears I've done in Vanquisher 2, the vast majority of them, Planet 1 I've cleared the triple Emily, triple Mims, and that has to be done with Delaciums and Ticks to reduce their attack. The other planets I haven't really attempted much, except for the Kerry Drake, Olivia Belvane, Double Garuda one, which I did clear with Trans and Dark. It will be interesting if we can find some planets to clear with just Transcendence protection. One that would be a very obvious one to attempt would be the one with Ignis with Transcendence and Dark, and also maybe even just Transcendence protection, because again you can use a Candy Cane Ra and Ignis will start doing a lot of damage to her teammates there. So that's probably the first place to look for a relatively easy Transcendent only clear. Once I get verification, I will fill in that tick box that it's done. And then Vanquisher 1 is the big change now. All the planets that could in the past only be done with Delaciums now can be done with Trans and Forest and Trans and Dark. So that's pretty much all filled in here. So you're basically all the way through up to Vanquisher 2, with the possible exception of this planet, is you'll be looking for Transcendence protection, and in Vanquisher 1 it will be Transcendence plus something, either Forest or Dark. This is if you're not running with Delaciums. If you are running with Delaciums, then you can save a lot of signets earlier on by using only Abyss protection, and you can obviously feel free to use your Delaciums here, as well, it would be a shame not to use them if you built them already. But this video is mainly aimed at those people who are not using Delaciums. One thing to note on Vanquisher 1 is the Sigmund planet has been cleared with only Transcendence protection, and that again was a pre-Celestial Island buff, so I would imagine now it should be a lot easier to get that one under control. I did clear it twice. I think the second time I used double Candy Cane on 2 Rogans, because the planet radiation includes Seal, which stops the Rogan from giving buffs to SFX, which is the main reason you bring Rogan along in the first place. So having Candy Canes so that the Rogans could buff the SFX made a huge difference on that planet. But again, this was pre-Celestial Island, so now this should be a lot easier, even with a standard Rogan and Candy Cane Ra comp that you can bring to Transcendent only planets. I will be updating the guide as well shortly, but hopefully this addition to the Vanquisher reroll sheets makes it a little bit easier to follow and helps you guys in doing your own Vanquisher clears. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and any questions please just ask them in comments, and I will see you next time. Take care.